if you don't
Hey,
know,
everybody.
you're in
Good
trouble.
evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome once again to the fun show here at Big TV.
Cubanas everywhere.
This is yes, Feliz Navidad, Happy Hanukkah,
Kwanzaa, don't forget Kwanzaa.
Kwanzaa. I don't know when Kwanzaa is,
I
but
don't
whenever
either.
it is.
I don't think anyone does.
Anyway,
You
this
think
is.
in Cuba they're using dreidels? No.
There's got to be a few people
I don't
spinning a
think-
dreidel.
You know, the
in
funny
Cuba.
thing
The
is,
Castros wouldn't
I
use
never
a
knew what
dreidel.
to do with a dreidel, to tell you
I
the
could
God's
tell you,
honest
but you
truth.
might not.
It would be a
Okay,
long
all
story.
right.
Here, introduce us. Who are we and what's
Yeah.
today?
You're Kiera.
I am?
Yes.
And you're Arch?
Yes.
Who's
And
he?
that's Mike.
Excellent.
Yes,
Hello,
there
everybody.
we are.
Da-da-da.
That
Okay,
straight.
all right.
That straightens that out. In any case, we have 2 more days of Hanukkah, and then 2 days after that we have Christmas. So one must admit that wherever Kwanzaa is, this is the holiday season. Even though we've seen nothing that looked the least bit like winter,
No, we have not.
so things are interesting. Speaking of the holiday, my sister just flew to Berlin
Comfortably, I
to
hope.
spend Christmas with her son and her granddaughter. And she said that she made the mistake of getting a window seat on Virgin Atlantic, row 50. She said she had so little space she literally could not get her pitiful little snack to her mouth.
So
That was
somebody
quite the
bit
visual.
their finger?
Huh?
Somebody gave her a bite on the finger or
No,
something?
no, she just
I don't think this involved another person. It was just her eating her snack.
she was just cramped.
What's with the guy? They're so tight that if you
So
put
what,
your...
you're saying that maybe the person sitting next to her had to feed her? Like
Well,
lean
ate-
over
ate
and...
what she wanted to eat. That's how
Okay.
close they
Right.
are.
On the way up, it went into the other mouth.
I mean, the airlines are
makes
getting
sense.
more money than they ever got. They're making all this money. The fuel
Fuel-
prices are way down.
Right. They were very happy to put on fuel surcharges, but they haven't dropped, not one airline has dropped one fare.
And they got these
Not at this
guys
time of
moving
year.
the rows closer and closer together.
And the fuel has actually gone down by 1/3. It's not like it went down a few cents or something.
I'm
you know?
taking a bus. I don't
Well, they've got to pay
or a
bonuses this
train.
year.
I'm
It's
not-
hard to take a bus to Berlin.
Well, I've heard they have some subterranean equipment. That they're
Actually,
using
the
now.
last time
They're
you
called submarines.
He just pulled that out of nowhere.
the last time you flew to Berlin, you had much more room.
Yes,
than
we
my
did.
sister
Well,
did.
Not a heck of a lot, but with all the equipment we had on.
Of course, you had no heat, no pressurization.
No, we
everything
had,
else.
and everybody had oxygen masks on over Berlin. Yeah.
Yes, yes.
Makes
sounds
sense.
But
sounds
everything
good to
was
me.
in ruins anyway, so we
Well, thanks to
destroyed
you.
it. Yeah, well,
What's the
okay,
date?
All right.
What's today's
I already
date?
said it
No,
was December 22nd.
I don't think you did.
I did. I
December
always
the
done that.
I did you? 'Cause
my
I thought that
president,
you said it
December the
before.
25th.
Last week I said it was the
Saw
25th.
Scrooge, the movie,
You did
yeah.
say it was
Today
the
is the
25th.
22nd.
It's the 22nd.
Time's moving backwards.
I'm talking about the holiday. Fezziwig loved December the 25th.
Fezziwig did.
Yeah.
Or as the Muppets would call it, was
Fezziwig.
Fuzziwig.
The Muppets.
that was the-
assume you'll be wanting the whole day off.
But
I
But it's only
love
once
the
a year,
Christmas
sir.
Carol.
That's a thin excuse for
Let's-
robbing your employer.
you know,
For
I
picking a
like
man's
the music
pocket.
with the Scrooge movie. That's what I.
When
I
did
got.
music
Every
come
one
in?
of them have been.
There's
Oh
a
my
lot
goodness,
of
a lot of
music
them.
in it.
The Muppet Christmas Carol is by far the best version.
Well,
of
I mean, the Christmas Carol.
If you haven't seen it, you can't
I did
poo-poo
see
it.
Christmas
I did, I
Carol has
liked
been
it.
around,
All
what, 150 years or more?
Yeah,
And,
or more.
But when did the music come in? Like in the 70s
Yes.
or something?
Is that when it
Whatever
was?
yeah.
Here's
love the music.
Here's the president with bags of toys.
I thought he was wearing a cape when I
did
originally
too when
saw
I
this.
looked.
Here.
Turn it over.
Now I'm turning.
Yeah,
I'm
they
turning.
can't
I'm
see
showing
it.
you. Well, I'm
Oh, they
still.
can. Look,
I'm
he just
I'm
activated the
making them
camera.
practice their
It's an
camera
old
work.
one. I want to, and I think the people in Market Basket got their jobs back and they got a big Christmas bonus, and I'm delighted for them.
It is very
Yay.
interesting, but apparently a lot of the financial people are saying, where's the money coming from? Where's the money coming from?
Where
He
it's
says
been
he owns
hidden.
it. Arthur T says
Yeah,
he
but
owns it.
he does own it, but
Where's the money coming
they're
from?
in so much debt.
Yes, they have
It's
a lot
really
of
kind
debt.
of scary. you know?
But they'll,
Robbing
they'll,
Peter
they'll,
to pay Paul, isn't
they'll,
that
they'll
saying?
muddle that out.
Yeah,
they're gonna
but
they're gonna solve
Peter's
that.
getting a little thin. Thanks.
Well, how about the Cubans? You didn't say anything about the Cubans. How about
What
you?
was you
Cuba.
supposed to say
It's
about them?
wonderful. It's
They're
wonderful.
doing some big
it's about
things.
time. Yes.
Yeah, it was time.
Kiera, you must understand, ladies and gentlemen, that as attractive and vivacious and entertaining as she is, she does not read the news.
She does read. the news.
Kiera is the last person in America that knows that that President Obama has reopened diplomatic relations with Cuba.
I was aware of this. This was just a glimmer, but I don't read the news. It's if I hear it on the elevator,
Yeah.
if it pops up on Yahoo while I'm paying attention, and if I read it on the side of a bus.
I
Or
enjoyed.
on Mondays.
On Mondays.
On Mondays.
You come-
This is-
I
that's why I
enjoyed
come
Kathy
here.
Bisbee last week.
Kathy did a fabulous job.
Our new executive director.
I did
Yes.
too.
And we
Yes.
had a good time.
And
If I'd had my piano here, I would have played
and,
something.
and
for
while
her.
we were
We're
gathering in
really
the
I don't.
missing
green
the
room,
piano.
But she would have told me I better start taking lessons or something.
No, I think she would
when
have
when
applauded.
all right.
when we were gathering in the green room, she walked by. She gave us a friendly wave and a smile.
did? Yeah,
So I
she did.
guess she still likes us.
I think
guess
so.
We're all right.
I think we bring some extra flavor to the studio here. It wouldn't be the same
no,
without
it
us.
is interesting. I mean, Cuban cigars will be coming back. Did you
Nice.
know? Did you know that
I liked Cuban
that
cigars. My father
John
did.
Kennedy
I
actually
think I've had at least
signed
one.
the Cuban embargo in 1961, 2 days after taking delivery of 10,000 Cuban cigars.
That was convenient.
He banned the import of Cuban cigars, among a lot of other things,
Well, I don't-
after filling his humidor.
Oh.
by-
What I don't like
course.
is Castro's brother, the one who's the president.
Raul.
now. Yeah, all of a sudden telling us, lecturing us that we should remember that he's a communist and everybody loves communism that's in Cuba, and we should understand it.
Yeah.
This guy doesn't like doing business with us, I guess. Why does he bring up that stuff? What is that? Why is that necessary?
Well, because it's what he's dedicated
Exactly.
his entire
It's his
life to.
identity.
And you can't expect him to spin like a ballerina on no notice at all. I mean,
Well,
He's already making a big compromise that
and
I'm sure
it's-
is getting
and it's-
questionable.
And it's quite
from various
obvious.
people.
It's quite obvious, if by nothing else, by the travel and communication restrictions they put on their people, that they're very aware that their people aren't at all happy with communism.
Kim
Yeah.
Jong-un is busy with worrying about that movie.
Interview.
The interview. Is it interview
But
or
the
the
people
interview?
wait a minute. The people of North Korea are starving, from what we're hearing. They're always trying to get a decent meal over there.
Well, he doesn't care.
He doesn't care at all.
He has lots of people.
Did he send any? You think he sent a message to the guy in Cuba there, to Raul, telling him you shouldn't have done this? Don't deal with the Americans or something.
Well, I'll tell you what I'm very
Interesting.
sure about. I'm very sure that Raul Castro wouldn't bother wasting the time reading a message from Kim Jong-un.
Yeah.
I mean, he probably
Well-
likes him because, for the same reason that George H.W. Bush likes George W. Bush, because he makes him look better by comparison.
Ah,
We read a good obit, though, about a fighter that passed
We
away.
did. Ernie Terrell. Ernie Terrell. You almost have to be Michael and my age to remember
You
Ernie
don't know,
Terrell.
You like this.
But Ernie Terrell was
He was the heavyweight champion for a
He
while.
was the heavyweight champion. Eventually lost it to Muhammad Ali. He won it from Eddie Machin, a guy named Eddie Machin.
But he kept telling. What's his name?
Ali.
Ali, over and over again. Your name is Clay. What's
Your
your
name
real
is
name?
Cassius
He kept-
Clay.
During the fight,
Yes.
he kept saying.
Well, it was early on.
He kept angering
oh,
Cassius Clay. Now is Ali, Muhammad Ali, and he didn't like it. That's
And the other guy he beat was that guy from Canada. What do you remember his name?
no.
George Chuvalo.
Oh yeah.
was-
Chuvalo.
are these all old dead
They're-
boxers?
This is back in the 60s.
Okay.
Well, Ernie just died, so yes.
How old was he?
77.
And what did he die from?
He died from advanced Alzheimer's disease,
Oh, that's
Sad.
rough.
which you might figure might be connected
But
to
his
career.
sister
Hit in the
was
head.
in the Supremes. She was a singer in the Supremes. They had
Okay.
a musical family. He came out, which is what I like. And then he himself set up a group. What was the name of that group? There was a name for them.
I don't remember.
I don't know, the heavyweights. He called them the heavyweights, and they were even on that late night show. Carson had them on.
The
The
Tonight Show.
Supremes?
Yeah, the Tonight Show.
No,
he had
no, Terrell's people.
the ex-heavyweight champion
Oh,
I have no
okay.
idea.
who had his own group on it, and they were doing Las Vegas. And he made a lot of money, more money at that than he ever made as the heavyweight champion. That's the point.
George Chuvalo
Excellent.
was an interesting character. He was from Canada, and he was just good enough to be the great white hope, which meant that every great black fighter beat him to a pulp.
They did beat him to a pulp. Yeah.
I mean,
Got it.
he was beaten by everybody. He was beaten by Frazier and Ali and Terrell and George Foreman, and but they kept giving
Do you know
him
what I remember George Foreman for?
his grill.
His grill. You ruined my joke. It was my joke. You just stole my thunder.
Well, you asked me.
Well, you weren't supposed to know the. You weren't supposed to know the answer.
What was George's son's name?
George.
What was his other son's name?
George.
What was his other son's name?
George.
Okay.
Okay, yeah, that's
All right.
Yeah,
George named all three of his sons George.
And then they have all
special.
these turtles that are landing in the Cape, on the Cape.
Turtles?
Yeah, the Ridley. It's the Ridley.
Oh, the
turtle.
I saw
Ridleys.
this.
Yeah, here.
That's very
It's a
funny.
Ridley
They get trapped in the hook of the Cape.
Right, and-
They try to go south and they run into the Cape and they're young and inexperienced. They don't know that they have to swim north to go south,
So all these people
which is
are calling up about.
and the
them.
Ridley turtles are all stranded on the beach on the north side of the Cape going, now I know what down Maine means.
And they get very big and very old if they live. The sharks can't do much with them.
No, the Ridley turtles are an endangered species. They're very interesting, and we now, in recent years, we have a regular route of flying them to Florida. Yeah.
Really?
It's called Land in Dennis, get a ticket to Florida.
Well, that's good that the's a program in place to transfer them
Well,
forward, so they're not
You want to
stuck.
say anything about our outgoing governor? He would like to.
Goodbye.
That's it? That's all you have?
Our
Patrick. you know,
Yeah.
Our-
No, I was waiting for
president
mini-me. I was waiting for him to say mini-me.
The president called him up.
I was about to, but I
Really?
didn't get a chance.
Ah, gotcha.
What?
Mini-me.
He was going to
Yeah,
say
mi-
mini-me.
That's our governor.
Yeah. well,
Mini-me.
One of our favorite politicians, right?
It's very interesting, though, because I haven't heard any more about his pardoning Mark Wahlberg.
Yeah.
What's he pardoning him for? Ooh, what did he do?
Oh, you didn't?
Did he do
threw
something
rocks
new?
At a kid
When he was a
When he was a
when he was
kid,
a
right?
16-year-old kid, he beat
Oh,
up.
I knew this.
He beat up some guy.
Why
I
would
guess
he need to be
robbed him
pardoned for
things.
it?
He's applied for a pardon
He has.
because he'd like to
He's a famous
clear his
movie
name.
actor.
And I mean, here's the thing: he's been an exemplary citizen for 30 years.
Okay.
And the secret is, perhaps we shouldn't be doing this on a case-by-case basis. Perhaps we should have a law that says juvenile records should be expunged after X years of good behavior.
But show
Okay,
a little
that's an
remorse. Say something
interesting-
about it to these people that he did it to.
Well, the
He
people-
hasn't.
Wait a second. They have come out and supported his pardon.
Yeah, they have, but in a halfway kind of funny sounding story.
Are you
about
just
this.
making this up?
No, I'm not
Are you
making
sure?
this up.
Well, I mean,
think
they're
he-
going to have to show support, especially when he paid them a lot of money to come out and support him.
Ah, the lawyer's talking
See?
now. Okay.
You knew that's where you were going with that.
I don't know.
But
I'm not
they
going.
were fairly compensated for the support that they provided.
Well, and the other
them.
thing is that the media quite happily, portrayed it as, oh, he put this guy's eye out, now he's lost his eye, and et cetera, et cetera. Turns out that the guy didn't lose his eye in that at all. He lost it in the Vietnam War.
But
you
they
know.
had this young
Always
woman who
dramatic.
got hit by a rock that he threw at the bus or something.
Yeah. Well,
And she said she still has pains. on
I'm
this
sure
side.
he offered some money at
it's
this
just
point.
another
Well,
example.
you know, and I don't know.
It's
Okay.
just
It
another
would've been
example
prudent.
of the media being out of control.
Yeah.
I don't know about that. I'm out of control.
I don't
when it
understand though
comes
why
to
he
him.
would still need the pardon though, if life has moved on,
There's
he's
certain
sorry.
things- there's certain
what
things-
can't happen?
Apparently, with this on his record, among other things, with this on his record, he's having some trouble getting licenses for Wahlburgers in California.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's
I knew
what
there
it
had to
Yeah.
be a catch. There's
Yeah,
no
yeah.
reason somebody does that just because, especially if it's
Just
so
'cause
much
they
work.
wanna clear their record.
Exactly.
Yeah, well,
There's
it's,
always a
When
money
you got a couple of
reason.
100 million, and you want to open a chain
I
of
don't,
hamburger
I don't think
stands or
he
whatever
has a
it is.
couple hundred millions. I don't think he's the one in the family who's that successful.
Well,
Who
whatever
do you
it
think
is,
is?
whatever it
He
is.
is definitely the.
No, the one who's on
You're thinking about Donnie?
on Brother Blue or whatever
Yeah,
that
that's
movie
Donnie.
is. Yeah,
That you think
he's much more successful.
No.
Yeah.
Sure.
No.
Yeah, well, he
Why?
says
What's-
he is.
what's
Because Mark
done?
has been way more successful before Donnie rose up.
Okay.
What, in his underwear? You make a lot of money in your underwear?
Maybe. Oh, it's playtime.
Ladies and gentlemen, Michael has signaled very discreetly.
It was very discreet.
It was pretty discreet if he wasn't on camera.
Everybody knows.
That it is now
that
time
Polar Bear has a wristwatch too that watches the show every week.
for the
The polar bear and his
his wristwatch in the other hand from his Coke. Yeah.
The other hand, he has a big seal that he's looking at. That's what
that he's munching on.
maybe. Okay.
He has a big bowl of popped seal. Anyway, it is now time for the big unrehearsed Thespian Society's presentation for this evening from deep in the vault.
That
The
vault is
classic.
endless, isn't
We
it?
always bring up
Yeah, I think it
classics
is.
at this season of the year. After all, this piece is nowhere near as old as A Christmas Carol. So it is entitled Diversion.
Action.
Tell me, what is a flat tax?
Yeah, well, is it new?
No, it's the same without some deductions.
Oh, so you just keep on paying, right?
Well, Columbus would know.
It's simpler.
What, there's no more exemptions?
And quarterly payments?
You won't need accountants.
Hey, they got to eat too.
Sounds gimmicky, though.
Fewer forms, less time.
What about Proposition 2.5?
Cutting state's property tax.
The auto excise tax?
And all the other state taxes?
The alternative minimum tax?
Yeah, look, you realize it's not my favorite subject.
And there's the federal and state budgets.
You left out the deficits?
We could always borrow more.
The Fed raised interest rates to stave off inflation.
Well, at least gas prices are dropping.
And the heating is still up, though.
You'll have fewer lines on the 1040 form.
Hey, how about a round tax?
Like a hamburger.
But it tastes like medicine.
We will cut the autonomy of the school committee.
That helped too.
Will Prince Charles and Camilla discuss this?
No, they're meeting with poor people.
Look, I'm much more concerned about IEDs.
Improvised explosive devices in
Right.
Iraq
Right.
and Afghanistan.
So are our soldiers.
Tell me, is Scooter Libby involved somehow?
Well, he's busy probably lying to a federal grand jury, I think.
Doesn't work for the vice president anymore.
So he cops a plea.
And is pardoned by the president in 2008.
Taxes all ironed out?
What is a scooter after all?
That's a metaphor for a skateboard with a steering post.
I still think we spend too much.
A few trillion a year too much.
So why all the pork barrel proposals?
Well, the folks back home need to get something.
It's a congressional feeding frenzy.
But this is a conservative government.
Yeah, with FEMA and rebuilding the Gulf Coast.
Natural disasters.
That's Mike Brown.
That's Mike Brown.
And we left out Social Security and health care reform.
Those are important too.
And the missing recommendations for Homeland Security.
Let me ask you, will a reverse mortgage help?
Ask the lending network on television.
How's your health?
Do you really care?
We both do.
Feeling lousy, though.
Sorry, but that's not new.
Face it, Mike, you're old.
Isn't everybody?
Repetitious.
I was just trying to be civil.
Go fly a kite.
I detect hostility.
You expect phony joy?
That sounds a little arrogant.
We care.
Show me.
What's wrong, Mike?
My credit card's maxed out.
You need a loan?
Call up Greenspan.
That's obscene.
You're not declaring bankruptcy.
I can still pay my taxes.
Well, you see, it can't be that bad.
Yeah, drop it. I'm fine.
You'll survive like Theo.
No whining here.
Just an internal disagreement.
Oh, like Valerie's outing?
This is hypocritical.
All right, I'm still don't feel good.
It's the crazy weather lately.
That my geraniums are blooming.
Say, do farmers have to pay taxes?
Hey, it's real estate.
Colorado's voters say a little marijuana isn't too bad.
Ridiculous.
But entertaining.
Karl Rove must be laughing.
Everyone picks on him.
Is Larry King still alive?
And Katrina's evacuees are still being evicted.
Nasty but real.
Well, I'm joining a weight loss center.
A new diet.
Actually, this woman I have my eye on is a member.
You have prurient interest.
You betcha. And she's cute, too.
I've got a diminished appetite suddenly. Yeah.
For baked stuffed taxes.
There's my problem.
Prepares taxes.
And good food.
Bumpy, sticky, she makes me happy.
Sweet. And sweet, too.
Honey, with your 1040.
Yeah, she passes the taste test.
A tisket, a tax cut.
Our president wants another tax cut.
But golden colors are turning brown.
It's a season of discontent.
Thank you, Shakespeare.
Blackout.
All right.
All right.
Deep in the vault.
Very deep.
Deep in the vault.
So much so that the original script is quite yellow.
Yes.
I don't know
yes,
if you can
yeah.
see that, but
Don't
quite
show her. Don't show her.
But only the top page,
Okay, well, all the rest
meaning
of
that it wasn't open.
oh,
It's the
You
chemical
discover something
content
there?
in the newspaper.
Actually, here's a copy activity report, and it's dated 11/7/05.
wow.
Okay, all right.
You make copy activity reports?
Yeah,
do you?
whatever it
That's
is.
really
yeah, whatever we
efficient and
got.
organized
Okay.
of you.
Well, listen now. All the hubbub that started with Mike Brown in St. Louis and went on to this guy in Staten Island has now devolved to the point where some demented person went to New York and shot two policemen sitting in their cruiser.
It's terrible.
He wasn't even from New York.
He ambushed
He
them.
wasn't even from New York. And then, unfortunately, the police union decided to blame Mayor de Blasio for it. And so now de Blasio comes out and he says, well, given these circumstances, I think everybody should stop protesting. Well, actually, he only meant stop protesting for a while, you know, to sort of give these families a break. But I don't know. Is that, as terrible as that is, and it is absolutely terrible, is that a reason to sweep the legitimate issues these people have been protesting across the country under the rug?
Protesting, even though they're shooting policemen?
Well, nothing's been done about open season on citizens by the police.
Or open season on...
Hasn't it always been open citizen,
season on
open
policemen,
season
too?
on the?
So,
So,
I mean, they just today
there's some
decided.
justification for some of this stuff, you know.
Today they just decided not to indict another policeman
Yeah.
who shot another person, I think in Minnesota or Michigan or something.
Okay.
And he shot this person 14 times.
What did he
Why
drop
do
the
you-
clip and reload a clip to
Why do
continue
you
shooting
have
him?
to? No, because we've given them these large capacity weapons these days.
Yeah.
But
I agree.
why do you have to shoot
Shoot 'em
anybody 14 times?
Well,
Okay.
clearly that's a revelation of emotional component there.
Person wasn't armed,
No,
you know?
angry, reactive. That's definitely 14 times is skeptical.
Well, the Chinese have this saying, you know, if you do nothing, it's a good action. You know, don't do anything if you have problems.
Just ignore it, pretend it's not a problem.
That's it.
I
As
don't know
long
that
as
I'm
you
really
have
down
2
with
million
that.
man standing army, there's no problem. You know.
Ha!
Ha ha. Okay. And then the Chinese turn around and turn out 90% of the e-cigarette boom is coming from them.
Yes, yes.
Yeah, and we had a kid in our state drink one of those e-cigarette things.
Well, as we discussed I think we discussed last
We
week.
did. We didn't talk on air,
This
but
is becoming
It's a serious problem.
every
epidemic.
single one of the crime murder shows that's on television has had a plot where somebody was poisoned with liquid nicotine. You know, and liquid
I'm
nicotine.
laughing, but it's tragic.
Liquid nicotine is about as toxic a substance as you can possibly buy, and you can buy it at any corner store now.
And this guy's a chemist, and he knows what he's talking about.
I believe it.
You do.
Well, I passed chemistry and
Yeah.
organic
Well, that's
chemistry.
good.
so-
Well,
He's giving you the
you
title
had
of
that- you were
chemist.
in that
You just need to
laboratory
run
where
with
you
it.
were checking numbers and things. And,
Yes.
and
Yes.
research. All
But you
right.
know what? There's so many things out there that can be abused no matter what.
Well, that's
you know,
true.
How
That's
how
true.
can you safety regulate every single component
Well, that's
of every piece that somebody could get high off or, you know, abuse themselves with?
or kill somebody with. I
well,
mean,
either
the thing
you
is,
know,
you know,
Drano would kill somebody.
rocks would kill somebody.
Exactly. So I mean,
Yeah, rocks
everything
would, yeah.
exists
Rocks,
that can cause
rocks
harm.
are a pretty
So-
good weapon, actually. You know, sticks and stones, baseball bats, and all these kind of things.
What did our friend, the heavyweight champion at one point, what did he die from? What was that
He
disease?
died from advanced Alzheimer's.
Alzheimer's. And the Pope made some remark about Alzheimer's and the Vatican Curia.
Oh, something about
That's kinda serious.
ethical Alzheimer's or something.
Yeah,
This Pope is very, very interesting. This Pope had his annual meeting with the Curia, and usually it's, you know, Merry Christmas, joy to the world, let's go out and serve the world. And he read them out
he really did.
for
20
ambition and selfishness and 15,
Wow.
15 errors that they make and hope
Yeah,
that they would clean them up. And he read them out for being
Good for
ambitious
him.
and cliquish and self-interested. And
How many of them are there?
I don't know.
Well, I have.
Thousands? Hundreds?
No, it's not a
Hundreds,
big group.
hundreds.
What, like
100.
20 or something.
No. It's
Curia.
probably 120 people or something.
Maybe. I don't
And so
know.
what's a curique? What does that mean?
Curia,
Curia,
the
what's
Curia is in a sense
Like
the
the
Parliament of the Vatican.
Okay.
It's a city
It's the
state.
governance of the Holy See.
Okay.
And the Holy See is, in fact, a basically universally related independent country, even though it's right in the middle of Rome.
But this is really
Yeah, okay.
unusual, this whole business. But
He
okay.
has done a lot of
Yeah.
unusual
Okay,
things.
so
this
now
Pope.
comes the Patriots. They won, and they go on.
We have 1 minute.
Was it 1 point?
1 point. They won by one. And I like Rex Ryan. I think he's a good coach, and I think those players,
Good,
the
good.
Jets almost beat our.
Maybe you can write him an endorsement because in
I
one
know,
more
I
week
know.
he's not going to have a job.
But I think he's terrific. I wish we could get him in New England up here to be a coach also.
But the irony is, Mr. Harbaugh is also going to be out of a job in a week. So that, poor
I
Kiera,
think
she
we're
has
out
no
of
idea who we're
time.
talking about.
No, but we're
well,
out of
it's
time.
time, it's
and
where?
we're going to miss Irene's song if we don't sing it quick.
Good night, Irene. Good night, Irene. Irene, good night. Irene, good night. We'll see you in our dreams. With visions of sugar plums dancing in our head, the holiday season, may it be joyful and happy, and may you spend it with family. Good night from the Fun Show on Big TV. We won't see you next week, but we'll see you in the new year. Good night, everybody.
And
happy
Merry
and
Christmas
merry.
and
Merry
happy
Christmas,
Hanukkah.
Happy New Year, Happy Hanukkah, Happy
and Happy
Kwanzaa.
Merry New
Peace.
Year. No, you got it.
Peace out.
Peace out.
Peace out.
I feel like we were already off the air the minute that you